Hey guys, how you doing? Happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers. I'm being a bit of a bad boy. Oh well, I never do this. This is not something I normally do, but I got up at like 5 o'clock this morning, and I've been messing around with Beersmith and just looking around to see what I've got. You know, you heard me talk about last week how I've had some extra grains, and I wanted to do these Muntins kits and get some stuff. And I also have a Cooper's IPA that I wanted to just throw down real quick, so that I've got something on the pipeline while I'm waiting for these other ones to get ready. And I started. So anyway, it's about 11 o'clock in the morning, so it's about 6 hours after I got up. And I've been messing around with Beersmith, and I've been messing around with grains. I've been tasting grains all morning. Basically, I've had my breakfast tasting a variety of different grains I've got here to see what I want to put in, and I'm taking some of your suggestions from last week. And all of this time, I've been just thinking to myself, I'm thinking about beer. I'm tasting grains that are used for making beer. I'm looking at beer. I'm making beer. So I poured a beer. I'm probably only going to have this one, though. I'm not going to start my beer thing until later today, but maybe when I'm cooking dinner or something. But this is just for you guys for Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers, and we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about what I've been up to down here in the brewing dungeon. I've been having a lot of fun this morning, let me tell you. Everybody's sleeping up in the house. And I'm down here making beer and stuff, so it's pretty funny. That's what it's all about, isn't it? First, I'll tell you what I'm drinking here. And this is, I started drinking this on Friday. It's looking pretty good. It's looking fairly clear. This is the Cooper's IPA that I used, the Nottingham yeast that was left over from a previous batch. I just scooped it out and flunked it into the fermenter. Actually, I mixed it with some of the wort first and then threw it in. And no starter was required. It was fine. It's turned out nice and clean. There's no stress, yeast stress, in there. There's no off flavors. A little bit of hops I put in are acting really nice in there. They're not very strong. They were, but they've calmed down a lot. Now I think it's drinkable. Definitely. I was drinking it on my Friday night broadcast, and it really wasn't that drinkable. So I had other beers handy and some wine and stuff. So, but yeah, so that is delicious. It's just really nice. Sorry, I got a piece of grain. It must have been stuck to my mustache. Anyway, so here's what I've been... Now, first of all, I have to apologize. I'm in the middle of sort of reorganizing my brewing area, so it's really messy right now. And that's sort of what led me to be looking at all the grains I had sitting here and thinking, okay, what am I going to do with these? And so I started looking at Beersmith, and I started messing around with the Cooper's, the file that Ottawa Tom sent me, which is a file that you import into Beersmith, and it has all the Cooper's kits in there that you can then, so you can play with them and add stuff to them, and you get the accurate color and IBUs and all that. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. And I do have a Cooper's English Bitter here. Did I say IPA earlier? No. I have a Cooper's English Bitter sitting here. And I don't have all the stuff to make the Craig Tube Porter. I don't have any extra liquid malt extract. But I do have other stuff. I have a brew enhancer, I have some brown sugar. I have some Crystal 60 grains, which have been sitting here for probably about a year and a half now. And I thought, well, you know what? Let's just throw the Crystal 60 in. 400 grams Crystal 60. We'll throw it in. We'll see what happens. So I got out my little... I cleaned it out already, so it's got water in it. Got my little thing out to measure my grains, and I put it under my... Like I said, my brewing area is a mess right now. Let me turn the camera around. I'm sorry about this is sort of off the cuff here. This is what I do. Just put that under there like that. And then I put my grains in there, and I just give it a whirl. So I put 400 grams Crystal 60 in there, used up the whole bag, whatever was left. And then I thought, I got quite a bit of chocolate malt in here. I'm going to add a little bit of chocolate malt. So I put 100 grams of chocolate malt in. And then I went over to Beersmith and I entered that in just to see what color it would turn out. It's pretty dark, but not... Let's throw another 100 grams in. So I typed in another 100 grams of chocolate malt into Beersmith. You got to get Beersmith or a program like it. It's awesome. It got pretty dark. It wasn't black like a porter or a stout, but it was dark, like a dark ale. So I'm thinking, okay, Cooper's English Bitter Dark. And then I found some brown sugar. I thought, well, you know, I could boost up the alcohol a little bit. And brown sugar has a nice molassesy kind of flavor to it. If you've never brewed with it, you should try it. It's really cool as an adjunct if you're looking for something to put in other than grains or extract. And so I put in 250 grams of that into Beersmith. I've got a Brew Enhancer 2 by Cooper's, which is 500 grams of dextrose, 250 grams of dry malt extract, and some maltodextrin. I'll show you the recipe right now. Hang on a sec. Okay, so here's the recipe. Here's what's going into it. This is basically broken down into the components, including the Brew Enhancer 2. The Cooper's Brew Enhancer 2. I didn't include the maltodextrin. I'll throw that in after. It's not really going to add much to the fermentability of the beer, so I'll just put that in afterwards just for a reference. But so there's what's in it. There's the color it's going to be. I'm just going to zoom in on that so you can kind of see. Dark, but not totally. Okay. And here's now I've got it set to extra special strong bitter. That's probably the wrong category for this. I should change that, and that's why it's got the one the color. It's got it shot way up to the top, because for that style this beer is too dark. So it's beyond the style guideline. If I change that to a dark variety of beer, then that will go back to somewhere, in the middle, somewhere around here. But you can see the IBUs. You can see the gravity and the potential alcohol and all that stuff too. So that's Beersmith. I love Beersmith. You sit around playing with this, making up little recipes and whatnot. I've got all kinds of little nits and gnats in here, things that I can mess around with as templates. So it's a really cool program for those of you who are new to brewing. It's a little disheartening at first because there's a lot of things in there that you won't know what to do, like where to set them. But you just leave them. The main thing is that you can figure out, without messing around with it too much, you can figure out your your alcohol, potential alcohol content, your original gravity reading, what it's supposed to be, your potential final gravity reading, and all that stuff, your color. You can add grains, take grains out, play with it and see what colors change and what things change and what IBUs do. And you can put different hops in and out. So it's cool to tailor your beer with it. Now, what I've got going on over here is, I got this idea. I got to give Gash Slug some credit for this. I don't know if he's the first one who's ever done this, but I saw him do it first. This is kind of like what I'm considering using as a mash vessel. It's turned off right now. Okay. This is a larger pot full of water and a smaller pot inside the larger pot. Right? So inside of here, I've got a grain bag full of the grains I just showed you. And they're steeping in there. Now this isn't a mash, this is a steep. Okay? But I'm considering using this method as a mini mash vessel because it keeps the temperature. You're using the outside pot full of water as an insulator, for the inside pot, which is your mash tun. And you just heat the whole thing up until the inside water gets to the right temperature. And then you turn it off and you put your grains in, and you can use a grain bag or just throw them in, by themselves and strain it out later. And according to him, it keeps the temperature very steady. Now, I didn't put any towels over this like he did, so I'll have to see what and I don't want to take the lid off right now because these are just going to be steeping for about 30 minutes. So I'm not worried too much about losing temperature. But when I do a mash in here, which is what I'm going to be doing with these Muntins kits, I'll be keeping more of an eye on the temperature. But that's a great idea, Gash. And God, it's great to have a community like this. He's one of our brewcasters and whatnot too. So yeah, so that's in there. Muslin bag. I reuse these, by the way. I clean them out and reuse them. I know they're cheap, but I can't get to the place where they sell them all the time. So that's kind of my little, that's been my morning. That's what I've done all morning, is mess around with this stuff. And you know what? There's times when I just want to get it done. I have other things to do, and I just want to brew and get the damn thing finished. And then there's times like this morning where I really don't have anything to do today. And I've been back down here having an absolute ball. I've got grains all over the place, spread all over here on my wife's washing machine here. I've been measuring crap with this, looking through what I've got in these things here. And all of that just led me to the fact that I need to have a beer. That's why I've got a beer. And it tastes awesome. I've had breakfast and everything. I've had breakfast and lunch. So I don't feel so bad. Now, the last thing we're going to do here, before we get on to whatever it is we're going to talk about, because I'm probably running out of time, I have the, over here, this is the Brewer's Best Double IPA beer. And no, this is not plugged in, just in case you wondered. I did plug it in at the beginning because my temp was a little low, but then I took it off and just left it on there like that. But so as you can see right now, I think the temperature is 66. Come on, camera, focus. There we go. Yeah. So now it's done. Now here's the thing with this, and again, my brewing area is messy. I got to clean up here. Here's the thing with that. There was some discussion as to whether I should have, because of being such a high alcohol beer, there was a little discussion in the comments, and I love that. Don't get me wrong, about maybe I should have done a yeast starter because it's going to turn out to be a fairly high alcohol beer. I didn't do a yeast starter. Let's check the gravity right now. I'm going to shut the camera off. I'm going to grab a sample, and we're going to see what the gravity is. If the gravity is below 1.015, I've hit my target. Despite the fact that I overfilled it a little bit, so the gravity might be a little lower than the instructions, but the instructions said the gravity should end up between 1.015 and 1.019. So if I'm below 0.15, given the fact that I'm a little over with my water volume, I'm good. So, and we'll check it right now, and I'll give it a little taste, and we'll see how it tastes. So hang on a sec. I'll take a sample, and we'll look at it right now. Okay, I think you can see that. That's 1.010, and then we're going up 2, 4. That's 1.014. And that's where that is, and that's where it was 2 days ago. So that's done. I'm going to keg that. Check this out. I'm going to keg that today, and we'll call that a secondary. I'll keg it, and I'll let it sit for 4 or 5 days. I could dry hop it, but I won't. There's lots of hops in there already. Let's taste that. Okay? A little bit murky. I took the sample from the bottom because of the siphon, the way it works. Let's give it a try. quite a beer. Wow. Wow. Double IPA. Yeah, that's going to be good. We'll get that into the keg today, maybe by Friday. Because, no, probably not by Friday. Probably, well, definitely by next Homebrew Wednesday, I'll be drinking this. But I'll be doing a review on it, because like an actual Craig's beer review thing, or some sort of a beer review, because it's going to be the part 2 of the actual making of it, because I filmed myself making this. So that'll be part of the whole video. So I'll be doing an official review on that. But that's pretty good. I mean, if you can kind of imagine the carbonation being on top of that, that's going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be really good. So I'll finish that. If you want to do the math, the original gravity was 1.072. The final gravity is 1.014. So that's what's been happening, and that's what I've been doing all morning down here. And now I got to run to the store for my wife and get her something. So I've got lots of time today. I'm probably going to put together the recipe for one of these Munton's beer kits. I've looked at your comments. I've wrote some of them down. And I'm going to formulate that today, I think, since I'm already in here and I'm puttering and having a ball. It's a lot of fun. Brewing is fun. And when you've got everything at your disposal and you've just got, you can just do it. I mean, I'm a mess right now. Once I clean this place up, it'll be even more fun because I've got a nice clean area to work with. It's not dirty, it's just cluttery. That's all. Don't brew your beer in a dirty place. That's not good for it. So I think I'm done. Okay, you're not going to get off that just that easy just yet. There's still a little bit more. A couple of housekeeping things. First of all, I kegged my Brewer's Best double IPA. So it's in the keg right now. And unfortunately, what I face a lot of times is because I've got one kegerator, or keezer, whatever you want to call it, and I still have a batch of beer in there that's, cold. And when I put the keg of the fresh keg in, which is warm, it's going to cause temperature differences, and it's going to take a long time for that to cool down. It's going to make my other beer get warmer, and it's going to be bad. But I have a better method that gets it cooler a lot quicker. I love the winter. Listen, if you guys are looking for ways to get a hold of me and ask me questions, I'll do my very best to answer as many of them as I can. I do read all of my comments on my videos. All of them get read. So don't hesitate to leave a comment. I do read them all. You can comment on my YouTube channel, CraigTube on YouTube, and it allows me to reply to you now if I want to on there. So if you have a question, you can go there, or you can also go to 17crew.com. 17crew.com is a great forum. The nice thing about it is that it's fairly new, so it's ours. And we can take this thing over. I even got my own section here. Where is it? There it is. And I'm in there once a day or twice maybe answering questions. And there's lots of topics here that you guys can get involved in. And the nice thing about this 17crew.com forum is that it's just us so far. It's ours. We can take this thing over. We can be the people who run this place. And the 17 Brew Crew and all of us YouTubers and Brewtubers and whatever you want to call us, 17crew.com. I think it's a great place. There's lots of great forums out there, but this is ours. Ours. Okay. USO5. Boom. Okay guys, that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. You want to buy a t-shirt, please go to tgtshirts.com. They're there for you if you need one. And I'm out. See you on Friday on broadcast, live broadcast, JustinTV/CraigTube. And I wasn't, drinking much this morning. I only had the one beer, but now I've had a few and feeling pretty awesome. So, cheers. Boom. 17.